We are live. Gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Mecca of Banter podcast. I am your host this week, Henry Wind. You can find me on Twitter at Henry Wind. And I'll say it, fellas, I'll get it right away. It's a great week to be a Manchester United fan. You know, it's a great week to be a Manchester United fan. We're next round of the FA Cup. You know, not everyone in this chat can say that. So we're here. We're here to stay. And we have a good episode for everyone today. We have a lot of games to go over and some pretty big performances from our team. So we'll get right into it. Lucas Winkleman, how are you feeling today, man?
What's up, man? Yeah, at time of recording, we're, like an hour post dismantling of the great Sheffield United. Not everybody can do it, but we did, and excited to dive into that. And obviously, the City Boys had a phenomenal game finally over the weekend, so I'm just all smiles over here.
City Boys are up, man. City Boys are up in St. Louis. City Boys are up in England. City Boys are up. I'll tell you that much. Speaking of blue, Nick Hayflinger, what's going on, brother?
We're doing great. This weekend I got to watch my team play with some bit of identity. Started to see them play at a level that I wanted to see them play at. And hey, we're third in the table, I believe. So watching City this weekend was a real good treat for me. That's about it on good soccer from my clubs, but happy to dive in about it. Obviously, you can find me on Twitter at Hayfy4. That thing is about to get active pretty soon, I have a feeling. And of course, we're going to talk about it in this episode. So,
Nick joined the session today saying that he's got some thoughts for today. So I would definitely be checking his Twitter over the coming week. He'll probably have a lot of thoughts here and there. And last but certainly not least, Andy Hoover. Come on now.
Yeah, come on, lads. Good, man. Everything's good over here. When both of your teams win in a weekend, that's exciting. Not something that I'm all that used to. And especially like Nick said, to have an identity again was just top notch. Young _Yid on Twitter, active as ever. Haven't left that. That's still been a mainstay. But yeah, happy to get into it.
Active as ever. And gentlemen, as it is now March, I want to remind you that this episode is brought to you by the spring cleaning champions, Manscaped. This season, make sure to groom your carpets and the drapes with the leaders in the below-the-waist grooming. Clear out the winter bush with Manscaped's Lawnmower 5.0 and watch your confidence bloom like the springtime flowers, gentlemen. Like the springtime flowers.
Love it.
Embrace the season and join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our special offer. Go to manscaped.com and use code MECCA20 for 20% off and free shipping. Again, that is MECCA, MECCA 20 for 20% off and free shipping. Gentlemen, I'm 29. We celebrated the birthday weekend in style. We had a great weekend after what was a disastrous midweek performance by St. Louis City. If you have not gotten the opportunity to listen to our post-match analysis, that's what the fuck we call this thing.
Reaction?
Yeah, reaction, recap, analysis, whatever. We're fluid. We're out here. We're calling it whatever we want to call it. Go back and listen to it. I think that there was a lot of things expressed in there that needed to be said. And there was also a lot of call to actions that we wanted to see for New York City FC. And I, for one, was stoked to see the performance, a 2-0 victory in what was convincingly the best 90 minutes we've strung together as a football club this season. And specifically the first 45 minutes was by far the best half that we've played all season. So take it away, fellas. Like, what were your thoughts on this game and what really stuck out to you?
I swear maybe Carnell's watching our pod. Maybe they're kind of all listening, because some of the stuff we've been talking about for a little bit, I think, was very highlighted and evident in this game. I mean, Celio played out of his mind.
Yep.
Dobes has been on him for a very long time. I know some of us weren't on the back five. I like the back five. We played a back five. It looked real nice. I like Big Sam up top. Like, I think some of the things we've been kind of saying need to happen are kind of happening, and I think it's good that it happened once. I hope that we can recreate it and continue to grow off of this performance. But very happy with what I saw.
There's actual flow to what we were doing. Like, I think the first 20 minutes, you put in some massive tackles. Like, Parker flipped a guy in our defensive half. That was huge. But, like, you could see multiple guys, like, slowing the game down, like, getting on the ball, possession, like, not just throwing the ball away. And shout out Connor Sindobri. He wants to remind everyone there's actually no seats left on the Celio bus, because that bus, it took off a long time ago. So, he's way on it. But shout out to that guy, man. Team of the match week for both Celio and Nilsson for the MLS. Like, super deserved, obviously, from the performance. They were great.
Elite.
Nick, you said it, but like, they've been listening, bro. They've been listening to us. You come to the Mecca, you get good ideas. It's not that hard out here.
That's what you got to do.
We had width, and guess where the goals came from? A winger. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Come on.
When you get talented wing backs, hey.
It's what we can do.
I'm saying, bro, the goals came from the wings. So that's point number one. All I've done this year is talk about how much I hate how narrow everything has been. It was dreadful. And then we find the Brazilian and let him dance. That's been the only thing that we've really even asked all year. So super pumped about that. We also just did what we were doing last year. Like, we had an identity. We know what a good performance looks like. We know the way that we want to play. And we just did it again. Like, that was the wildest part to me. Why we ever strayed from that in the first place is mind numbing. It doesn't make sense at all. One striker, two wingers, all three played well. I was so pumped for Nilsson.
Yes.
Nilsson was great. 90 minutes, warrior, dude. You can see it. This was really that performance to me that was like, okay, this is the Swedish DP we brought in to be the anchor and to be the 90-minute man for the entire year. We needed a Cadillac, bro. Like, I love Timmy P. I think there's a world where they match up really well together.
They just do.
We kind of saw that. Yeah,
they do.
They definitely do. But I'm not going to call Timmy P that Cadillac yet, So it was cool to see that. Markanich, too, played out of his mind. And someone pointed this out on Twitter. Might have been one of us, just for how many tweets we send sometimes. Maybe there's a reason we haven't seen Dyer.
100%.
And it's because Markanich has been out of his mind. What a ridiculous pickup last year. Anytime Lutz goes and grabs guys, especially last year, we're in a position that we needed help on. Reserve player not getting any looks for Colorado, and to have him come in and just be this solid in and out week in, wing back, that was huge. So I'm pumped for him. We also got to see the Durkin Lowen double pivot. And guess what? It looked great.
It's awesome.
It looked so good.
It's so good.
Lowen didn't have to do as much defensively. He had a lot more freedom going forward, and I think this was the match that we really are bouncing back on guys' class. End of the day, I thought he was good on both sides of the ball, and it was nice to see him just kind of resume the form that we know he does have. Yeah, man, I was so giddy about it. Only thing I would have asked for is a third goal as a better of the 2.5 goal over. But outside of that, man, it was a real performance. New York City might not be that great from what I've gathered and what I've read into, but what a better time to put in a good performance, though. Build on it, get some momentum. We are officially in one competition this year, so let's fucking go for it. Put out a strong lineup every week. You get 7 days, no matter what rest. Go for it.
You'll have the excuses.
Totally. Exactly.
I also think we all know this, but I think this game highlighted it once again that Roman Berkey is a
huge.
level
He's the best in the league by a mile.
Goalkeeper in the MLS. We got a steal with him, and it shows why we pay him the big bucks, because he
totally
deserves it.
Yeah, he's so much better than our level.
Yeah, and I also love the progression of a year ago. So couple games into the season a year ago, we still didn't really know what we were, but we knew what we weren't, and what we weren't was having any decent outside back. And so now having Markanich that you just mentioned being insane, and then Totland has been the man of the match. Other than Celio this match, I mean, Totland has been the most consistent player we've had all season. And so it's like the foundation of our team is like now our wing backs that like last year were just so chaotic. But, you know, I also want to give props to Sam. Sam started over Klaus. So Klaus came on later in the match. You know, so I want to give Sam his flowers, because I still think that he has this turning something out of nothing capability that not a lot of players have. And I mean, even that shot, right, that he scored, went near post, and it was right in front of me in the supporter section. I thought he missed it, and Klaus was wide open in the middle of wide open, and so literally, like, as soon as he shot it, I was like, "You fucking idiot!" I literally like yelled. I was like, "You fucking idiot!" And then it went in, and I was like, "I mean, you're sick. This is great." Like, he's the best there ever was, but he really just has this ability to do that, and I think it's special. It's this really, really special talent from that guy.
He's got this, dude. He had no right scoring that goal.
No,
he had no right. He had no right to score that goal. He had no right to shoot the ball. But the thing with the kid is that he's got an absolute piss missile of a left foot.
And like, shoot or shoot.
Dude, shoot. My girlfriend got so annoyed with me because I watched that goal over and over when I got home from the game. And I was just repeating it to her over and over. I was like, he had no right. He had no right to score that goal. The angle was ridiculous. Celio, you know, just let him dance through the middle. A perfectly placed shot. Could have had another one 15, 20 minutes earlier, too, off the post. It was just an all-around feel-good performance.
It really was,
The atmosphere was back up to the levels of the atmosphere that we know it could be and will be. Credit to the New York City FC drummers that they brought, because they didn't stop drumming for 90 minutes. I mean, that was miserable from my point of view. I was so upset that they were there for that whole time. But second goal goes in. You know, they got a "you're not drumming now, you're not drumming now, New York City, you're not drumming now." A couple of those from us.
It's unbelievable.
Man, that was fun. As Tim Parker would say, fun.
Fun indeed. What do you all make? I was a little surprised. So I'm not trying to like start an agenda here. I'm not trying to like force anyone's hand, but you know, we've seen the last couple of weeks, everything going back and forth, especially on Twitter. We're seeing a lot of our supporters group and a lot of our fan groups speaking out against the Leagues Cup, and rightfully so, because now it's like the next layer of the Leagues Cup, the Open Cup mess that the MLS is in. Carolyn Kindle came out and like kind of like had like a little pre-match interview with all of the fans, and I was honestly a little bit surprised that she got the overwhelming amount of reception that she did. Like, people were like clapping her out and like all this stuff. I just think it was a really interesting thing that in the very middle of this like Leagues Cup, Open Cup thing, in her not taking a stance for the Open Cup, I was just a little bit surprised that that was the reception that she got when she came out. I don't know if you all have any thoughts on that, but that was just a little surprise to me.
I think when you look at the basis of the fan groups and just who the demographics of the people going to the game, I'd say 60% are just a little bit more casual, and I do think that that's what the Luligans are working really hard on educating everyone about, is the history of the Cup. We obviously touted the history of the Cup and how many times a St. Louis team had won it when we got the team. So it's not that nobody knows. There's still got to be an aspect of, we didn't have a team 2 years ago, and now we do, and she's a big, part of it. We're not in depth or in deep far enough in our ownership or in our fandom to hate the ownership, which is gonna happen at some point. But not right now. Everyone's pretty still happy-go-lucky about it. But it was a little interesting, and I think that St. Louis is just mildly tiptoeing around the fact that they hear us and support our decisions and understand the way we're coming from. But at the end of the day, Don Garber and the MLS as a league just have the owners groups, I think, in a vice grip. So they can't do too much to sympathize with us. There's just not a ton they can do. I think having someone come out and be a steward of the cup would be great.
Yeah.
And it's not been her, it's not been the team, it's not been, but even the social media team put front and center on the Luligan March in, all of the Open Cup Matters signs that they had. They posted that with prominence and pride. So I think behind the scenes, they're probably with us. They just, we all answer to the high and mighty Don. And at the end of the day, there's not a ton that they can do about it. But I still have faith in maybe not this year seeing the Open Cup get back to what it is, but people aren't going to just let this go. Like,
right.
It's not going to go away. It's not going to disappear. People are pissed. I want to see us in that tournament. I want to see us. That's our best chance would be for a trophy. Just really disappointing. But I can't hold Kendall's feet to the fire too hard on this one. It's just is what it is to a certain degree.
100%. Gentlemen, before we move on, I want to give a special shout out to the 5 gentlemen sitting behind me in the second half that ruined our entire section's night. If any of you have sat in the supporters section between this group or those that are listening, you know that the supporters section operates off of it's an honor system. You get there early to the game, you get your seats, you kind of like figure out who's around you. If you go grab a beer, people kind of like hold your spot and you come back. It's all first come, first serve. And that's how it works. That's how it's worked for an entire season. That's what you do. These 5 guys Saturday decided fuck the system. And at halftime, they moved from their seats up top down to the 5 seats behind me. And we're just the world's biggest assholes. And so if you saw 5 guys in a St. Louis Blues jersey all huddled together, those were them. And just as a reminder, be a good supporter and look out for your fellow supporters. And if people are being dicks, let them know. So shout out to those guys for ruining an entire section's night. So, and speaking of ruining nights, we're going to kick off our weekend recap with Brentford-Chelsea, a 2-2 draw, courtesy of an absolute screamer.
Worldly.
A bicycle kick.
Visa.
And, sometimes you just got to tip your cap, Hoover. Or, hey, you sometimes you just have to say, fucking A. They deserve that. That was sick. But what's going on, man? What's going on, Nikki?
Yeah, boys. Not great. The game specifically, if we want to get into that, maybe I'll give some pros before. But I thought Gusto played well. I think we really found a good one with him, and I'm excited to see the competition between him and Reece James.
I think everyone agrees on that, too. I don't think that's a controversial statement. I think the group is all seen now.
He's a good one,
we can accept that one.
The game itself, we started off the first half brilliantly, and it's funny, the stat that Henry threw in our group message today, I'll obviously bring up towards the end about Poach, but when we go into halftime, 1-0, I was pretty confident. We didn't look too awful. I thought obviously Nico should have scored a couple. He in front of goal is still atrocious, and he still can't hold up the ball to save his life. And then obviously the start of the second half was a completely different story. We came out awful and led up 2 quick goals. Obviously the second was an incredible finish by I forgot even who it was. I forgot his name. He was having a hell of a game against us too. So shouts to him. But what a finish! And then luckily we were able to scrape equalizer at the end from Disasi. And to be fair, I think he's come in clutch for us a couple times on goals, which is crazy to say. But I think this game was a huge game for the club. Obviously, we are needing some sort of push towards the top half of the table. And with a game in hand, this one was a huge one to get closer to Newcastle when we're playing Newcastle in our next game. So I think the reason why the stuff I was saying before, obviously I have a lot to talk about, but the big thing is I think Poach's job is on the line against Newcastle. I don't know if you guys watched the game against Brentford at all, but every single chant was something negative towards the club, whether it was Bowley's an idiot, Poach out, Poach doesn't know what he's doing. There was a whole bunch of chants from the Chelsea supporters that were just not good. And obviously Twitter is the same. Everyone wants his head. I think it's pretty well backed. I'm not going to sit here and say that I think he should be out yet. I said it from the beginning. I want to give a manager an entire year. That's just how it is. We've been in a vicious cycle, and regardless of how that is, I just don't want to continue down that path. But Henry sent in a stat, and I think that's what a lot of people are holding on to, especially on the Twitter side of things, is that Chelsea, after the second half, is one of the worst teams in the league. And it comes from Poach's halftime speech and halftime adjustments. I think I've also been saying that from the beginning, that I don't think his in-game decision-making is the best.
Hit that drum. Yeah, definitely.
I also think the big one for me that I noticed with this was, I think his treatment of Mudryk, and this is one that kind of really upsets me, is because what people do talk about the good side of Poach is his ability to develop players and have that relationship with the youngsters and build them up. And I think he's not doing that with Mudryk at all. Every time Mudryk has scored, he has not started the next game, which I think is insane when we're only really in one competition. I mean, we're still in the FA Cup, but like the Premier League is our biggest opportunity at the moment, and we're starting Sterling over a Mudryk who's scoring a goal. I just think it doesn't make any sense to me. Also, we just completely switched to a back five randomly. I don't understand that decision either. I also am Enzo and Caicedo are having to play every single game, and I'm really nervous for their health. There's just a lot of glaring things at the club right now that I really do think Poach's job is going to be on the line against Newcastle. And if we lose, I would not be shocked if he was sacked.
Frankie Lampard coming back, baby.
Frankie.
Caretaker manager.
This man, Pochettino, went on record and said, we have to win every game the rest of the season. And then what a better way to come out and not win the next game after literally saying that to the public. Personal Pochettino watcher and former fan here, so, I have some credit here. That wasn't happening at Spurs. Like, it's so weird for me to see your side of it because, like, stats don't lie. Like, you guys have sucked in the second half, and you've noticed it, and his in-game decisions have been poor. We never saw that, bro. I saw them come back 2-0 down in Amsterdam and pull away into a Champions League final with fucking Lucas Moura. Like, his decision making wasn't bad, and the way that he got guys to respond was never bad. I don't get that.
That's also a mixture of the youth in our side and the infrequency of injuries. I feel like maybe they're not responding to his, like. By no means am I saying Poach didn't and doesn't have credibility for being good in the second half, but whatever he's doing with our group specifically, it is not working. And I don't know if that's more on him or more on the players, because the players are not responding well either.
Well, it's both. It's never one way. But what I don't know, because I'm not a Chelsea fan, I don't know the history and the background of the club. Do you all have like a technical director? Do you have like a director of football? Like, do you have anyone in those positions at Chelsea?
Not really. I know Bowley brought in a board, and when Abramovich left, he took everyone with him. So
Gotcha.
Everyone that Abramovich used to pretty much employ had to leave or left with him. So then when Bowley came in, I believe to be fair, if we want to get deep into it, when he first came in and it was Tuchel, I think he wanted to be super hands-on. Tuchel was like, hell no, I want nothing to do with that. That's why Tuchel was ex-Nade. And then now I think before Poach started the year, there was an announcement that Bowley was stepping back from being.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
He's going to allow the board and Poach to make more decisions. So, like, once again, that doesn't look good on Poach right now. But as far as the technical director, I'd have to look into it. But I know it's someone from Bowley.
Well, the only reason why I ask is because, like, obviously from the outside looking in, between the end or the second tenure of Frank Lampard, we have Potter, and now we have Pochettino. It's just not good. Like, it's just rotten all throughout. And I kind of feel similarly with Chelsea that I do with like United, in the sense of like, you could bring in any manager you want. You could bring in anyone you want, and it doesn't necessarily change like that. Like, it just, maybe we see some better results, and maybe we see some better halftime adjustments and all of that stuff. But like, the manner in which the club is constructed at the current moment, it's set up for failure. And so I know for like United, like Ten Hag, like people are calling like for his job. I don't agree with it by any means, but like, you need to wait until you see a technical director. You need to wait till you see a director of football. You need to wait until you see a guy who oversees all the transfers that really works as a whole system. It's not just Pochettino, but maybe Pochettino is failing his job, but he's not the only thing that's to look at. So it's a tough situation.
100%. I will say though, in regards to the ownership, I think on the other side, like this, on the flip side of the United and Chelsea comparison, like, I still believe that like Bowley's still investing into the club. I think he's going to get it right. I think he's just needs to figure it out. Like, he's going to get the right people in the right spots. I just don't think he's found that yet. And I think he's trying to iron it out. He's never been in the football world. He's never been in the Premier League. He's the owner of the Dodgers. Like, I think he will then slowly start to figure it out and get those people in the right spot. So that's why, like, with you guys, I feel like it's all Glazers aren't invested. They want nothing to do. Like, they have no motivation to make the club better. Like, with Chelsea fans, I don't think all of them are like me. Like, I think a lot of the Chelsea fans, especially over in London, want Bowley's neck. But like, I still believe, like, as a business, he can maybe propel us into the future. And if that's with Poach and with a technical director, who knows? But I also think, like, I want to give him time as well. He's still really fresh, and he is investing $1 billion into buying players. So like, I can't be mad at him for that.
Man came in, thought he was playing a fantasy league. He was like, this is going to be great. No way this goes poorly. My last thing on Poach too is, you know what he did do at Tottenham? He watched Lucas Moura score this hat trick and then benched him for a 60% healthy Harry Kane in the final. So maybe I have seen a little bit of it before. Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows? Tottenham's a nice transition to Tottenham coming away with a 3-1 win. Here we go. Good for you, Hoof. What do you want to say about it?
I hated it. It was amazing, but I hated it. It's one of those. It's a team that has to get scored on. It's like St. Louis a little bit. It's a team that has to get scored on to really want to like put in a shift. So that sucks. Not a ton of clear-cut chances in the first 60 minutes. And naturally, the player that we were kind of linked with, who just got back from months of an injury and started his first game against Tottenham, scores an absolute worldly free kick. Eze's a dog. I love Eze. We beat that drum on this podcast. But of course it was him. Of course it was him. It happens every week. Spurs will just get punked by a player that they were formerly linked with, who just got back from injury, and they'll score a worldie. It happens every single week. Unbelievable. The highlights are everything after the 70th minute. Like, Brennan Johnson comes on, presses the hell out of this Anderson cat, who just vomited all over himself, and recovered the ball and slides it to none other than Timo Werner. Get in. And
he needed that so bad, bro.
He needed it so bad. He could have finished that with his eyes closed. So I think that was just going to be the first time that he scored. There's no way around it. He had a one-on-one with the keeper earlier, and I'm almost confident I tuck it better than Timo does.
I've seen you finish. I know. I'm confident in that as well. I'm confident.
One-on-one, you just pick a corner.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, I just realized a stat. I think there was more goals by ex-Chelsea players this weekend than Chelsea. So
that's hilarious.
It's unreal.
No, but it was good to see Timo score. I really hope that just helps his confidence. And like, even every opportunity he had before that, bro, he just he just is so scared of fucking up, I think. And I genuinely zero confidence. And we've said it a bunch. He does get into good positions. We've got him making good runs. He's, he's got a couple assists already, so it's not like he's not contributing. But like, man, just put your head down and hit it here and there. Like he's not done that. And I don't know if this is going to be the start of it. I hope it is, because he's going to have to play. Richie's out for a couple of weeks. But I was bummed to hear that news, but God bless, man. Sonny is so good. I'm never going to be that mad about losing. He's in a good form, true number 9 when Sonny will go wherever on the field. He will beat people. He will find the pass he set up Timo's first opportunity with was obscene. And it was like, it was straight out of the Harry Kane to Sonny playbook from the last 8 years. So it was good to see him play well. Brendan Johnson, again, was good, really, really good against tired legs. I think we're not seeing him put in consistent 90-minute shifts yet, but every time he comes on as a sub, he makes some things happen. Matters, little floated ball to Romero, nicking it down, dude. That the ball, the awareness of those two guys, like the link that they had with each other, I thought was awesome. And then you just love to see your best center, maybe your best center back, just absolutely ripping the badge and kissing it into the corner while everyone's just losing their mind. I'm happy with the way it turned out. I wish we didn't do this every week, but dude, this has been my entire fandom. It's not like this is an Ange problem, bro. This is just what I've watched my whole life with Tottenham.
You talked about it 2 weeks ago, but that meme again of like the Spurs thing where it's like, this is so exciting. I hate my life.
I'm going to kill myself. Yeah, oh, look, we won.
Yeah, it proves to be true over and over. And
it couldn't be.
Yeah, I think something that's interesting about Sonny, and I don't want to overhype Sonny, but I feel like Sonny is like the closest thing that we have, maybe other than De Bruyne. I think he's the closest thing that we have in the Prem to, that you're watching an absolute legend of the club every single time he plays. Yeah, there's just not many guys. Like, I think football nowadays, it's so like back and forth, and you're here 2 years, you're there 3 years. Like, it just is one of those things. But I feel like every single time Sonny does everything, I know that his days are limited. Like, he's not going to play for another 10 years, but every single time that guy plays, like, you just feel like you're watching one of those legends that you'll talk about for the next forever.
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, Spurs have legends in their own club and their club rights, but like this one, yeah, no,
legends,
I mean for real,
trophies,
but like,
no, it's just
exactly,
what it is. Yeah.
There's a sliding scale on that, but I think 100%, and I think a lot of people would agree that he is one of the best wingers in the Prem within the last, I don't know how long. Like we're not talking about greatest of all time. We're not talking about best Prem 11, but when you mention that name in 20 years, people are going to be like, oh, that guy was magic. So yeah, I think you're right 100%. Literally, when he got on the ball and had a one-on-one with the keeper, I was like, he scores these, he scores these, he scores these, he scores these, gets all the way down, tucks it. I was like, he always scores these. I was losing it because he does. He's one of the most prolific finishers ever. We've had that argument on this podcast, and like, there's not many people on their day that I'm picking to bag a 1v1 with the keeper. He's just gonna do it.
My thoughts when Nico Jackson are the complete opposites.
Dude,
he misses these. He misses these. He always misses these.
Oh, exactly. Dude.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have that, and it just helps that he's like the nicest guy in world football, and literally everyone loves him. It just makes it's a feel good thing. No, it's a feel good thing. He's friends with everyone. He always is signing kits for the traveling Korean fans, and man, I'm not going to lie to you. There's been so many of those guys. Every time you look in the crowd, you get like 6 Korean fans with Korean flags, and like it's cool. We're more of a global club than I think Spurs have been in my lifetime, and I think a lot of people in Europe would say too. The reach has gotten so much farther. Now let's just translate that into wins. So
with the Euros coming right around the corner, I think an early shout Of course, other than England and of course, other than France, those are going to be the two number 1 and number 2 rated teams going into it. I think the Netherlands, with a foundation of Mickey van de Ven and the starting back 5, I think the Netherlands are going to have a shout because that kid is insane. And you put Van de Ven next to Van Dijk and De Ligt if you want to, or Nathan Ake if you want to. You have Frimpong out on the right. Maybe Ake plays that left-sided. I don't know. I think that back 5 is going to be outrageous when it comes to Euro time.
I think you're right. And I think it's been fun to see when you buy a player and you know that he's going to go straight into a starting role, especially with how young he is. Like, for him to have actually done it and excelled and become one of the better center backs in the league, I think is really cool. And Netherlands are probably shitting their pants over it because they had no idea. Like, yes, I'm sure they were watching him at Wolfsburg, and I'm sure that they had tabs on him in the youth. He'd had a couple caps. But I think the Netherlands are the people looking out the hardest in all of this. Like, we've got another generational one, lads.
We got a dog.
Back line is safe.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
Yeah, amazing.
Gentlemen, you want to talk Manchester Derby?
So bad.
I don't. Unfortunately, Manchester is blue this time around, with City winning 3-1 over Manchester United. And here's the deal. I think a 3-1 scoreline is a lot bigger of a delta than maybe if you watched the game. And right away, Manchester City is awesome. Phil Foden is awesome. He is by far the player of the season in the Premier League.
Bellingham level player, like top.
Yes. Get that guy on the plane. He's gonna start probably at left wing for England. Southgate. Yeah.
The man is so technical that it allows him to do so much. It is insane. Like,
whenever Pep
on the
just
ball,
says
something, he can do it.
Yeah. Like Pep literally just says, go out and play. And he does that. So City was so much better than we were, especially in that second half. Phil Foden is disgusting. But I do want to talk about in the first half, to be honest with you, we go into halftime at 1-0, and I'm buzzing. Like, obviously, Rashford scoring in the manner that he did, outrageous. There was a group of us at Amsterdam. Weird to say, but not a City fan in sight at Amsterdam. Couldn't tell you why, but there wasn't. But all of the Manchester United fans in the bar going crazy when Rashford scores that goal. Of course, midweek he comes out with that interview saying, like, people are questioning his loyalty to Manchester United. Dobes texted me before the game and saying, like, I would put literally any amount of money on Marcus Rashford scoring today. Lo and behold, 12 minutes into the game, hits a banger, and I'm over the moon. You all saw the starting lineup. You have McTominay as the 10. Yeah, you have McTominay as the 10. You have Lindelof as a left back. You have Johnny Evans as a center back. You know that if we are going to get any result out of this game, every single player on that pitch has to put in an 8 or 9 out of 10. Every single one of them. And through the first half, they kind of did. Johnny Evans was a dog.
Oh, my word. I wanted to hit on him.
Yeah, City. They looked rattled in the first half. Like, they couldn't connect passes, especially in that first 20 minutes. Guys were closing guys down. McTominay was pressing. Like, we actually held good possession. Yeah, bro. The sitter that Holland missed right before halftime was insane.
That was wild.
But going into halftime, I was like, okay. Like, here we go. Okay. And don't get me wrong. I didn't think that we were going to go and score another. But I was like, we might be able to hold on to something. Second half, we just yeah. I mean, if we played like we did the rest of the first half, bro, they couldn't get a sniff. Like, Onana played super well. He was commanding of the box. Any cross he came out and punched or gathered. Like, I mean, literally in the first half, our team played really well. Delo was everywhere. Like, Varane was great. Evans was great. Maiden was classic.
It was just a classic City. You have that beginning with them, and then in the second half they're gonna just possess the fucking shit out of you.
Totally.
Dobes says it every week against whoever City plays, and he didn't say it this week. If City goes down, you live bet the money line.
And I almost did it, and I didn't.
I didn't do it.
I didn't either, because I just had a weird feeling that, like, no matter how shit, like, I feel this way about Chelsea sometimes too. Like, they'll be so bad for so long that, like, for some reason they just
When have you ever felt like that?
do it against a much better team. And so I just had a weird feeling that after they went up, there's a chance that they hold on and tie or
I still remember last year, I made some sort of parlay. I don't remember what it was, and Chelsea was my last leg of it, and they were playing Southampton, who was already relegated. They lost, and I threw Chelsea on there because I was like, that'll be the icing on the cake. There's no way they lose that game, and I'm sitting in this Starbucks watching this game, losing my goddamn mind. But yeah, it wasn't a win. I'll tell you that much because I'm still living in St. Louis and I'm not in the fucking Swiss Alps.
I tell you what, that Southampton team had a tendency to come out and punch above their weight class. Hey, Luke. Hey, Winksy.
Hey, that's a good one there, Who? Come on. Somebody stop him.
Come on.
But, first half, Casemiro plays great. Manu plays great again. We have a couple chances to spring the counter, especially in that first 20 minutes. Then after halftime, we get citied, to be honest with you. They just break teams down. It's what they do. But, it's glaringly obvious to me, maybe not as much to you all, but we go to our bench and there is just a cataclysmic drop off between our what would be our starting 11 brothers. So
he is so bad.
You have Anthony and Amrabat, right? Everyone else is like a 19, 18, even a 17-year-old is on the bench. Like, you just have nothing. And so we bring on Amrabat and we bring on Anthony, and then we bring on a 19-year-old center back. The 19-year-old center back who actually played right back did pretty well. He did fine, was what it was. But we bring on Anthony and Amrabat, and they're two of the worst players on the field, and they only play for 25 minutes. So, it's the same shit over and over. And it's so frustrating sometimes whenever we get this little glimpse of what United could be whenever we were fully healthy a couple of weeks ago. And then now injuries happen. We know this, but then there's just nothing to work with. And so it's so frustrating. Amrabat, man, I don't know if I've
he looked
ever
like a double agent. He looked like he wanted to blow the game. He had money on City.
So good for Monaco.
That's what I was going to say, Nick. I don't remember ever feeling so duped by a player because when he was in the World Cup pocketing Mbappe, he put in that sprint.
I was like, that's a huge sign.
Yeah.
Huge signing. He put in that sprint against Mbappe and outpaced him and was great. And then he had to chase someone down 2 games ago and got outpaced by 15 yards, who wasn't Mbappe. So, yeah, I just...
It wasn't Mbappe.
I don't know who it was. It wasn't him, though, I'll tell you that much. But, it's 3-1. I think we'll look back on it and say, of course, it was 3-1. That third goal, how embarrassing can you get? Honestly, you're getting outplayed by an 18-year-old that's played 6 games. It's just so embarrassing. But I definitely can't go by this game without talking about Phil Foden and how good he actually is. Bernardo Silva, how good he actually is. Kevin De Bruyne, how good he actually is. And you know what? Haaland finds ways to score, and even he seems to be missing twice as many chances as he's scoring right now. But he's still leading the league. He's still doing his thing. Yeah.
Boring.
Also, you hit it on for United. It's so flipped for City. Their subs are gross. Julian Alvarez.
Yeah.
I think we said it last week. Most of their subs would start on every other Premier League team.
Yeah.
Besides ours, but everybody else.
You bring on Bernardo Silva in the 70th. It's what the
Yeah, it's just disgusting.
Nice.
Yeah, you bring in Julian Alvarez, the quadruple winning player from last season.
At 20 years old.
Yeah. And you know what? I sincerely hope, that we get a performance against Everton this weekend. We have the 6:30 game on Saturday. I hope that we get a performance because I think after the Everton game, we go into an international break. And if we don't get a win there, I think the chatter around Ten Hag out is only going to get louder and louder through the international break.
I was going to ask you how loud that was.
Well, I think the fan base is split 50-50. Okay. And to be honest with you, I exactly what I said about Chelsea is exactly how I feel about United. That I don't think you bring in any manager in the world, maybe barring Pep, but none of our players can play the way that Pep wants to, so it doesn't even count. But you don't bring in anyone right now, and that changes the club. Like, my biggest thing is I want Ineos, I want Sir Jim, I want Dan Ashworth, I want Omar Barada to look at this team right now and judge them based on the last 6 months of the season, and then wheel and deal in the summer. Get rid of players, like figure it out. Like I'm on, there's like 3 guys, 4 or 5 guys maybe in the team that to me are like untouchable. And I've said it for a while, but it's Hoyland, it's Garnacho, it's Mainu. Right now, those are the untouchable players. Everyone else is up for grabs, and it just is what it is.
They take one photo together, and now they're club legends.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, you watch these guys, like, you all know how much I love Marcus. I mean, hey, he's right there, but like, he's been part of every single team over the last 8-9 years, and he consistently can't have a good consistent run of form. Bruno the same way. Like, Bruno's been great the last several years, but like, you can't see him adjust his game. He's like pissing away like possession all the time. So it's just frustrating, and I don't want to keep having another manager come in and they say, well, give me the summer for me to look at him, and then we'll see. Like, I just don't want that anymore. So yeah, I want Ten Hag. Obviously, for me, in a perfect world, Ten Hag is perfectly safe until January, the January transfer window, and then we can make our assessment from there.
You guys are so close to the metaphorical promised land that you're setting up for yourself. Like, I'm with you from an outsider. Like, you guys have no right to do anything with any manager right now. It would be a stupid decision. I'm not necessarily a Ten Hag truther either by any means, but like, just like whatever you finish this year, bro, you've got ownership coming in, you've got structure, you've got plans, you've got change. All of this is planned. It's going to happen. But like, what point is, like, what has to happen for him to get sacked? Like,
yeah.
Do you like? And I'm not saying you're not really that bad. Like,
Right,
you're not where you want to be, but also you guys have an absolute dumpster fire behind the scenes. So there's no point in doing that. But
I think alarm bells would really go off is if we finish out of Europe. And I'm talking out of Europe. Period. Not
including
Champions League.
conference. Yeah.
Yes. Like, if we finish out of Europe and there's nothing next year to like fight for in that regard. So if we're in, Chelsea's position, like I think that like that's something where really the alarm bells are going off. But like, we are not the Manchester United of past where we need to be challenging like number 1, number 2. We're not there yet. We probably will not be there for another couple of years. So like, you continue to get Europe, you continue to get those competitions. If you finish 9th, you finish 8th, like that's really where those alarm bells going off. And Ten Hag, if he finishes the season tomorrow and we're in 6th and we have the injuries that we had, I think you say this was not great. We need to see significant improvement, and let's get our guys healthy. Let's get this structure in place that you just talked about. Like, let's get that there, and then let's reassess next year, and let's go win the Europa League. Like, I think that's what you do, and that's my opinion. Lucas, you 2, 3. You scored just as many goals as we scored collectively. The Arsenal scored 6. So between the 3 of our teams, we scored 6 this weekend, and you did that in 1 game. So congratulations. 6-0. This continues, I think, the best 30 days I've seen out of Arsenal, maybe ever, or at least in my fandom, even back to last year. Yeah, I think so.
Of United.
In my fandom of the game and following. Yeah, no, I think that the amount of goals that you all are scoring, the consistency in which you're doing it. What do you have to say for yourself about this game, brother? What do you have to say for yourself?
Yeah. Well, I know that if we used Nick's, since Nick's been a fan, we wouldn't have nearly as big of a sample size to be able to talk about our run of form. Huh?
What are we doing? We're going on.
What are 3 months? 19.
Oh,
my bad.
19 months.
It's
a year and a half.
No, but Sheffield suck, man.
Dude, they're awful. They're so
bad. Like, it's so hard because like they're getting relegated no matter what. But I won so hard to like be super happy about this, and I definitely am, but it's just like not the same when it's against a club that like almost everybody besides Chelsea would do this to.
It's
So
demolishing. Yeah.
But to look at it from a broader perspective, you know, we scored 5 goals in 39 minutes. That's mad. We have 31 goals in the last 7 games, which is insane. And all of this started after the Liverpool legend Jamie Carragher said that us celebrating after beating Liverpool at full time would make us complacent. We've scored the same amount of goals, away goals specifically, in 4 games that United have all season. So that was really good forecasting.
Hanging in the rafters, baby.
Give me the trophy.
Trophy.
Because fuck's sake. Their
Brother,
dynasty.
Dynasty.
You won 6-0 today, and I just looked. You beat them 5-0 back in October. So you guys 11-0'd them in the double this year. That's insane.
Yeah, it's wild, dude. It feels weird because, you know, we talked about it last year. We talked about it first half of the season. It just felt like we were creating so many chances but weren't ever efficient. And I feel like today and the last several games, outside of the Porto away game, we've been ruthlessly efficient. But again, I think it was a bit of a combination of us attacking so well, and thanks, Nick, and Sheffield being absolute shit. They also were one of the only teams in our last 7 games that defensively played us in a back 4, and whenever most of the other teams were defending us, they would shift and play that, you know, they sit in a low block, but they would shift into a back 5, and Sheffield didn't, and we passed through them like, you know, Swiss cheese. So obviously, I don't know if you guys watched it or not, there were a few unlucky deflections and bounces, but the goals were spread out yet again between 5 different guys, and then an own goal. We got to see Thomas Partey for the first time in forever. He didn't really do anything.
Not in prison.
Hey, that's what they keep saying. That's what they keep saying. That's the story. He didn't really do anything.
He didn't do anything.
Yeah.
On the field or in life, apparently. Yeah. But
dude, I watched 10 minutes of this game because I don't really watch Arsenal. But I turned it on.
You're missing out lately.
I saw 2 goals in 10 minutes. It was 4. I saw Rice's goal, and I literally switched over to Inter. I was like, I'm not going to put myself through this. I personally was expecting 5 more goals in the second half. I don't think you guys' sub drop off is that wild. So I was like, no, they are going to absolutely shit pump them. So
it was a little bit because we brought on, you know, Thomas Partey, who hasn't played in a year, and Cedric.
What a game to bring him on, though.
And
5-0 up, no.
I mean, honestly, that's ideal for him not having played in so long.
Mm-hmm.
But
absolutely,
you know, Vieira hasn't played in a while either. He's been hurt. So I think that was a perfect game for that to happen. And, you know, obviously we have Brentford, I think it is, at the weekend before Porto at home next week. So
getting nervous?
No, not at all. I'm really excited for it. Again, like we talked about it last week, but no, dude.
Okay.
I find me a pundit out there that's not even an Arsenal supporter that thinks that Porto is going to go through.
This group.
I will.
The few, the proud.
I'll send you some.
But, okay.
I'm gonna hate watch the hell out of that game.
Just like angry through the TV.
I'm gonna hate watch the shit out of that.
They said the first game that Porto could take it to them, and they did. So like, I'm confused.
Send me receipts, then, brother.
Okay, I will. You guys are very confident for.
God, I can't wait. I can't wait for Porto to win and us to make like a TikTok of Lucas just on repeat of the like. If I could choose anyone,
the first one I made.
Nick is unfortunately attacking me for being confident about my club, something he hasn't been able to be in a long time. So you can keep it coming. I know you're not mad at me. You're mad at your club.
I think the psychologists.
Okay.
I think
there was no hatred towards you.
Psychologists call it projecting.
That way, then
it is. It is.
I'm no psychologist, but I know it when I see it. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, no, that was a shit kicking. sure.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks,
Thrilled
bro.
for you. Nick, I'm curious for you, just because I feel like we are in unique territory within this group where there's some of us that can speak on heritage and there's some people that can't. We're into the next round of the FA Cup, man. You and me both. And I know these two they just don't know. They just don't know.
Yeah, very confident over there.
Yeah, you scraped through a 3-2 victory over Leeds.
Yep.
I have no idea who you're playing next. I know that we have Liverpool, which will be very fascinating. I can't wait to talk to Flan for a week and a half straight about it. So, how are you feeling? Leicester? Great.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's awesome. 3-2. Do you want to touch on anything on the Chelsea Leeds game? How do you feel about the next round? I feel like Leicester might be a good pick for you all. Championship
Absolutely.
club.
I think since the Premier League, obviously after the last performance against Brentford, us making European competition there isn't looking so great. So the FA Cup is really all we got left. So depending on how that kind of plays out, hopefully we put all of our eggs in the basket, even though we have nothing really to lose, and we get a win. The game itself, we did not look great.
Dude, Leeds looked really good too, though.
Yeah,
I think
pretty
definitely
good. Conor Gallagher, incredible finish to take the victory in the 90th minute. But hey, we move, and like you were saying, some people are built for the cup, I guess, and some other.
Yes, some just aren't, and we narrowly scraped by. United beat Nottingham Forest 1-0 in the 89th minute off a Casemiro maybe touch. It was either a direct free kick or Casemiro might have gotten a touch on it. Regardless, we move. Same thing. Game was atrocious. We couldn't get anything going. I guess the red card police aren't out for any other team other than Manchester United. Guy puts his hand clearly around Bruno's throat at the end of the game.
Probably because he knew everybody else wanted to do that too.
Yeah, he was just acting on behalf of the rest of the Twitter.
The referee
community.
was like, "Oh my god, don't let me watch."
And for that, we thank you.
Actually, I saw Bruno take his hand and put it on his neck so that there could
he grabbed it.
Bruno, what are you doing? What are you doing?
What are we doing?
Oh, no.
So, like I said, we have Liverpool next. We have that. We play Everton. I misspoke about the international break. We have Everton at the weekend, and then we have about a week's rest before we play Liverpool, and then we have the international break.
Do you think they play their teenagers against you guys?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I don't know what Liverpool's injury status is going to. Yeah, the kids, Klopp's kids.
Yeah.
I don't know what the injury status is going to be. Darwin Nunez made me want to fucking gouge my eyes out this weekend with a 99th minute winner.
Darwin.
Nunez. Forget that guy, man. He's for the birds.
I will say to chill Wink's pants over there. I am happy that this game came at the right time because now the Arsenal game is postponed. So maybe they settle down before they play us.
Yeah, they just regress in scoring 3 goals instead of 7.
Yeah,
and maybe you guys get some players back too.
Exactly.
But gentlemen, before we wrap up tonight, I have a factor cap for you. I didn't prep you with this. We didn't talk about this, but this is off the fucking dome right here, fellas.
Lovely.
The year is 2024 right now, and as you know, we signed Norwegian-American dual international Thomas Totland as our right back / left back for St. Louis City. Factor cap. Thomas Totland is on the plane for the 2026 World Cup at right back for the United States of America.
I'm going cap.
Factor cap, though.
I'm going cap, and I'm not happy about it, but I think we have to take a look at the man himself, Greggy Berhalter, and
Loves
his
an
thought
MLS
process.
guy, though.
He does love an MLS guy. The kicker about Thomas is he's 24. He is not really quite past that age to where we can be like, why we were taking any MLS guys when, you know, realistically, he's not. He's got a lot of way to progress. I think it's a cap because we already have some depth at that position, and we've got players that can play there that have proven it in Europe and here. I don't think he's going to have the run-up with Greg to build that rapport for him to be like, let's take a chance on this kid. So,
but think about the depth, though. There's like 2 guys. It's 2 guys deep. It's not even more than that. There's Dest and Joe Scally.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, and there's also competitions where we don't bring all of our dogs to. So assuming that he
like the Gold Cup or whatever.
Yeah, so assuming that he lights it up, defensively, offensively, whatever during, the course of this season or, ahead of the summer, there's definitely an opportunity for, Greg to pick some guys that wouldn't normally get some time and impress him. That's super tough because you never know in the span of 4 years what players are going to fall off, what players are going to get really good, and it's a complete guess.
I mean, if we win a title.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say fact because I want to see it happen.
Well, so I was about to say I'm gonna say cap, but I'm down to start the narrative because
let this be.
We're gonna start leaking. We're gonna start leaking it.
I don't think it happens, but I'm down to start it.
So I have a question about him. Does he have any caps for Norway? Does he have any sort of international
Don't know,
rep?
but here we go. I'll look it up.
Because he's got a lot. He played Norway U20s, so that's what I'm seeing now. One match.
One match U20, yeah.
Back in 2019, so that does not automatically keep him there.
Oh my God, that was the game that Holland scored 5 goals. Or excuse me, sorry. That was the game that Holland scored 9 goals. Sorry for misspeaking. Yeah, dude, he played in that game.
You want to hear the wildest thing ever? I watched that game live, and it was the most random game for me to have possibly picked up live. I was at Top Golf with my buddy, with Dan Hornsey, friend of the pod.
Hey,
we were there, and I remember watching this Norwegian kid just bag goal after goal after goal, and like we just put it up on the TV. So I was like, "Oh, this kid's got 3 in 40 minutes." I was like, "Let's see what's up." He kept scoring goals.
It's nuts.
I remember watching it and being like, "Holy shit!" Like,
put the world on notice, man.
Whoever they were playing was ass, I'm sure.
Honduras, U20.
Yeah, Honduras was not holding a flame to that, but that was ridiculous. But back to Totland. I bet he picks Norway over the States.
You think so?
I would think so, only because of how we used to look at the States. Like when we would get dual nationals, like Dest, Dutch, American, and some of these other cats, they're coming to the United States because they're going to be able to be a role player. They're going to be able to be a bigger guy. They're going to be able to fill those shoes and play at an international level and really high quality competitions. But I think that Thomas Totland is looking at that right back Norway position like, I could be with that. I could play in the Euro. I could be with them. They're not in the Euro. I don't think they qualified. But
are they really not?
I don't.
Jesus. So that's the thing. They're also not going to qualify for the World Cup. So it's like,
that's right.
The U.S. has an automatic bid. So I'm going fact. And I think that we've watched 4 games, so small sample size, but consistently the best player on the field. He also moves like a European wingback.
He does, 100%.
That's the thing. And like with Dest being as injury prone as he's been in the couple of years he's been in the USA camp, and half the games Dest starts at our left back position too, because maybe Anthony Robinson isn't it. Like there's just not a lot of depth in that right back position. And Greg does not fuck with Joe Scally at all, even though Joe Scally's starting in the Bundesliga. Like he just doesn't fuck with them. So I think that is maybe something that Greg wouldn't pick him. But I think that if he continues even half of this season the way that he started it, I think that he gets call-ups for the Gold Cup. I think he gets call-ups for maybe some internationals, friendlies, and maybe even the Copa America, depending on how he's doing. So
yeah, we're already getting call-ups for other players, so you might be onto something here.
Yeah, and this is just this is just my thing. I don't see it with AZ. I don't see it with Jackson. I don't see it at all. And the fact that he got a call up, and I know that it wasn't the dogs that he got a call up with. It was all the like younger MLS guys. Whatever. But like the fact that that's like someone that they took when I don't even think AZ had like a USA caliber season last year, I think that Totland's going to be watched for sure. Now, if Totland was a center midfielder or a striker, probably not, because we have a lot of depth in those positions. But as a right back, I'm like, I don't know. I think remember, we brought Julian Gressel last year to whatever fucking tournament we played in, and Julian Gressel was terrible. So I'm just gonna say, watch this space. Watch this space.
Watch this space.
Watch this space. Well, that'll wrap it up for us, fellas. Another great episode of the Mecca Banter podcast. I want to remind our listeners, get 20% off and free shipping with code MECCA20 at Manscaped. That's 20% off and free shipping with code MECCA20 at manscaped.com. Nothing like a little spring cleaning in your pants, fellas. Nothing like it. Just nothing like it. So signing off from all of us here. Don't forget to follow us on the socials, and if you're listening, give us a like and a comment. We're trying to play around a 2-touch with St. Louis City. You know what I'm saying? Just interact with us.
Get a shot.
See us on Twitter, bro.
The video you posted, Hen, of them actually playing during halftime, get me out there. I was like, Hen could totally touch with them.
Yeah, I was watching them though. I was like, because I watch them warm up every single game, and I'm like, I just recorded the best 40 seconds I've ever watched them play 2-touch. Like, they didn't drop the ball for 40 seconds. And I was like, this is bullshit. Quality. It was good, but I'm so in it, bro.
There might be levels to this, apparently.
Winks and I have outdoor tonight. We're going to go try to score a couple goals. We'll report back next week, and thanks for listening, everyone.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers, boys.